Hiya, today I'm going to show you this makeup look from scratch. It's a kind of peachy bronzy look, so I hope you enjoy. As always, everything I've used is listed in the caption, so if you click to make the video full screen, the title will come up along the top, click the arrow next to it and a full list of everything I've used will drop down. Okay, so to start, I'm going to go in with some of the IT Cosmetics CC Cream Oil-Free Matte. And the reason I'm going for the matte one today is I'm going to do a live chat with Lex today from Talented Lex. She has a brilliant blog all about rosacea, and we're going to do a chat about some kind of makeup favourites and things that definitely cover, that you can rely on if you do want, you know, coverage for redness. By the time I put this up, we'll have already done that, so do have a little look. It'll be in my IGTV videos. But what I like about the matte CC cream is because it's oil free, I'm not going to get kind of shiny down the centre of the face if we're sat on this live, because there's nothing worse, whether you're on a Zoom or even in real life, wherever you are, if you're distracted by your own makeup not looking nice, you don't feel comfortable. Whereas I know that this will stay nice and velvety and I can just focus on talking about what we're there to talk about rather than keep looking at myself and thinking, oh, I need some powder or whatever it might be. Now, next I'm going to take the Bobbi Brown Full Coverage Touch-Up brush. You can use any kind of brush in this shape, but it's quite important to get something nice and domed. Denise and Moira, you have both asked me recently about pigmentation. I'm just going in with some IT Cosmetics concealer, by the way. And I think obviously now that the weather is getting that bit warmer, the likes of sunspots and pigmentation can become a little bit more prevalent. What I wanted to show you on a nice domed brush is that one of the best ways to cover anything like this is to really press the coverage on rather than necessarily rubbing it. And if you have a brush in this kind of shape, it just makes it even easier to give that kind of soft cushioned finish. Now I'm just going to go around the eyes a little bit. I'm going in with a cream on my lids today, so I don't necessarily need to do too much correcting because I know the cream is going to cover that. But if this is you and you've got a sunspot or an area of pigmentation, in terms of your makeup, let's just say if I had one here, just press this on to build up the coverage rather than rubbing it in, because that way you're adding extra cover. I would also say personally, a lot of people will ask, do you do your concealer first? Do you do your makeup first? There's no kind of right or wrong. Whatever feels good for you is always going to be the best, and whichever option gives you the best results, stick with that. But what I would say is if you've done your base beforehand, you can see, you know, how much coverage you're getting from your everyday makeup, and then you could consider that concealer or colour corrector just an additional step up where you need it. I think sometimes if you start with your concealer, you possibly put on more than you need, and for many reasons, whether it's wanting your makeup to look as fresh as possible and not wanting to get through your products so quickly that you're having to buy them new again more quickly, I just think kind of building it up in small little layers is often a nice way to do it. So that there would be my kind of suggestion for combating it with makeup. But then also, if it is pigmentation and things like that that you want to target, adding something into your skincare routine. I'm going to actually carry on my makeup while I'm talking about this because I might be here a while. I'm going to go in with the Nudestix Bondi Bay bronzer. Adding something into your routine that has vitamin C in it is going to be really great for helping to brighten any, your whole complexion, but in particular, any areas of pigmentation. So just keep that in mind, because obviously it's nice to have the instant impact of makeup when you're trying to address something like that. But ultimately, it's also great to know which skincare steps you can add to your routine to kind of prevent it from happening any further. Okay, now I'm going to go in with this shade, Bohemian Rose, and it's quite a cool raspberry pink. So I'm going to take it nice and high on the cheeks. I'm going to use the same brush that I buffed that bronzer out to buff this blusher out. And then, such a lovely tip that I learnt yesterday, I'm going to actually just take a tiny bit of this through the temple. Really great tip that apparently is a tip that Mary Phillips, the makeup artist, always uses. But she says, take a tiny bit of blush through the temple, because ultimately, if you were, you know, naturally flushed or sun-kissed, you'd have a tiny bit of redness through there. And it's funny, I put a little Reels video up the other day about how I like to pick out kind of moles and freckles and things. And it was a bit of a, what's the word I'm looking for? A crowd divider, I would say. I'll put my eyebrows on while I'm telling you this. But essentially, the reason I like to do that is I like looking like I've got coverage on when it comes to covering up redness. But it doesn't mean that I necessarily want my whole face to look really full. And in the same vein, that little bit of blush there, it's not that I don't want any rosiness on my skin, because I actually love a rosy complexion, but it's that I want the control of having a nice rosy flush where I want it and not having too much redness absolutely everywhere. So, because I know a few people said to me, I'm so confused. You've just done all that to knock out the redness and now you're putting redness back on. But I suppose it's just putting it in the areas where you actually want it, so that it, you know, adds radiance and adds a bit of lift without necessarily looking or feeling uncomfortable. Okay, Keely, you'd said to me that when you've got your foundation on and then you put your powder on, it's almost, you know, softening the appearance of the foundation, and you can really notice noticeable pores. And I really think that is something that a lot of us experience. What I would say for that is try using a small brush to do your powder. This is a PC17 brush, and I'm going in with the loose It Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores powder. I want you to really gently press the powder on rather than rubbing it in. I know I'm such a broken record, but I really think that this soft touch is often the difference between getting the coverage and the finish you want. I'm going to take a tiny bit over the eyes, not too much because I'm going in with the creams. Getting the coverage and the finish that you want, and not almost flattening what you've put on. So this, I wish you could see, I'm going in with the gentlest touch. And just really softly, in particular, that is my most prominent area for pores on my face. So I don't want to rub or exacerbate it, but I do want a little bit of velvety powder to help to try and soften the finish of that. And then, hopefully my theory is correct, it was the other day, I'm going to do the quickest smoky eye using some of the Jamie Vieve ones. Let me see what kind of colour I like actually. Before I start, I'm going to go in with the Peaches and Cream Dynasty eyeliner. This is quite a vivid coppery colour. I know that might look a bit warm now, but in the wider context of my makeup, this is all going to come together. I'm going to go in with the Vieve Hazelnut Shadow Stick. Vicky, you had asked me to go in with Hazelnut and then use the palette. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do these eyes one at a time. I am literally packing this on, and I'm not going to worry about the edges because I'm going to buff this out using a fluffy brush. And I think I'm just going to use the shadow stick on the top today. And I just want to show you how easily this will blend out and how buttery it is. And the nice thing is, it is very easy to blend, but then once it's dry, it's not going to move. Absolutely, smoky eye, 2 seconds, job done. Now, Samantha, you had said to me recently, when it comes to eyeshadows, you can't seem to get shimmers to look as good as mattes. And what I would say to you is, just try giving them each their little place. So for example, your matte shade, I mean, it's going to look lovely all over, but in particular, it's going to be really great through the socket to build a bit of shape and kind of create a nice smoky edge to your eyeshadow. And then your shimmers can be really lovely in the centre of the eyes, to add a little bit of depth and dimension and pop. And can I just say, do you know what's nice about these shadow sticks? I don't know about you, but I get really watery eyes with hay fever, and that eye is actually watering as I do my makeup. I can feel it. I don't know if you can see it, but I've worn them a few times on watery eye days and they're not going to budge, and they're just nice and creamy that if your eye does start watering, there's nothing more frustrating. While I'm chatting, by the way, I'm going to go in with a little bit of Carrot. This is Jamie's Vive Essentials palette. There's nothing more frustrating than when your makeup goes all smudgy and ruined. So it's nice to know that they'll just kind of stay subtle enough even if your eyes are watering. Now, do you see there? I've just put that shimmer right in the centre. It's above that blue, so it's going to help to make it pop, but you've got the kind of framing of the matte colour to pull it all together. Again, even this can look quite colourful. I'm going to go in with some mascara to add some shape. I've just been on a Zoom with the founder of Swede. Really lovely kind of lash and eye specialist brand if you haven't tried them before. And it was really interesting. If I show you, this is an example of a set of Swede lashes. Do you see how soft they are? She was saying, I'm going to try this by the way while I'm telling you. She was saying that she felt like there was an opportunity for, you know, she loved her makeup clients that wanted these really soft, pretty aesthetics. Maybe they were using Laura Mercier makeup or Chanel makeup. That was the two examples that she gave. And she said at the time that she was making the brand, there were so many really dramatic lashes on the market. I'll clean that up as I go along. But there weren't soft lashes to go with the kind of elegant, soft makeup that lots of her clients wanted to wear. And so that was her whole idea for the brand. And now I'm going to go in with some Peaches lip liner in Borderline. And a little bit of gloss in, I think Ladybird. I've got here Ladybird. And there we go, all done. I'm going to go get ready and talk to Lex. So if you are interested in kind of makeup for redness and rosacea prone skin, that Q&A should be live on my page now if you want to go and have a look. But as always, thank you for watching. If there's anything in particular you want to see, let me know and I'll work it into a video, and I'll chat to you very soon. Have a nice day.